Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Ready? Um, let's dive in. Um, why is it that villains, or at least morally complex characters, seem to dominate our screens nowadays? Take a moment to think, how often are we rooting for characters who lie, cheat, or even kill? From the smirking charm of Deadpool to the self-destructive melancholy of BoJack Horseman, there seems to be an unshaken fascination with these flawed personalities, but no portrayal of the anti-hero has stirred the pot quite like Breaking Bad. Walter White, once a humble high school teacher, unravels into one of television's most iconic and divisive figures, cancer stricken and fueled by desperation and pride. His descent into crime left viewers both captivated and uneasy. Yet the man behind Walter White, Vince Gilligan, recently took the opportunity to reflect on what this cultural obsession with anti-heroes might signify at the Writers Guild Awards, where he received a distinguished honor for his work in television. Gilligan used his platform to advocate for something refreshingly simple but surprisingly rare these days: stories about good people. And as his words resonated through the room, it became clear that he wasn't just being nostalgic. He was issuing a challenge called, and Gilligan admitted he'd rather be known for crafting a character that uplifts audiences rather than one who morally divides them. Look around, you don't have to search far to find real life villains, he remarked. What They're out there, bending the rules and wreaking havoc, acting purely out of self-interest. And let's be honest, Hollywood's no stranger to personalities like that. Well, he didn't name names. It seemed like a gentle nudge for the industry to reconsider its priorities. After all, he argued, characters like Michael Corleone, Darth Vader, and Tony Soprano are supposed to show us what not to become. Yet, somewhere along the way, they crossed over. Uh, Instead of cautionary tales, they've become, dare we say it, role models that. And it's true that Walter White fits among those morally ambiguous icons. Viewers marveled at his transformation from hapless teacher to criminal mastermind. And even Gilligan couldn't ignore the paradox. Walter White was meant to warn viewers about the dangers of unchecked pride and desperation, but some idolized him instead. They saw a man taking charge of his destiny, albeit in the messiest, most destructive way possible. As for, it's the storytelling equivalent of when you lovingly cook a meal and someone asks for ketchup, like it's just not, they're what you intended. And Gilligan's solution is refreshingly straightforward: bring back the good guys. Not the saccharine, too perfect to be believed heroes, but the kind grounded in generosity, empathy, and sacrifice. The stuff true role models are made of: care, internal efficacy. And I think the types of characters our grandparents admired, the ones who didn't see compassion as a weakness, but as the greatest strength. Um, and one of the more frustrating aspects of Walter White's journey is seeing fans misinterpret his struggles at his inability to ask for help or accept vulnerability was a direct critique of toxic masculinity, not a rallying cry for it. Yet it's this tension, this balance between admiration and discomfort that makes his character unforgettable. That still, Gilligan seems to hope the pendulum will swing back, a signal to writers and audiences alike to find inspiration in the good over the glamorized bad. And here's something to chew on. Imagine Walter White as a hero who embraced humility instead of pride, and less say my name and more. Pass the chemo pamphlets, please. It's not just a drastic rewrite. It's kind of a hilarious image. Maybe someday we'll see a character like that rise to iconic status instead. With all the chaos in the world, maybe it's time for a storytelling shift, one where kindness, selflessness, and courage take center stage. Who knows? After all, if we're surrounded by enough real life villains, wouldn't it be refreshing to see a few more good guys come out on top? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.